I had my secondary education at Ifeoluwa Grammar School, Osogbo. I passed out in 1972. I proceeded to the prestigious University of Lagos, where I had my first degree in 1978, and some years after, my MBA. I had my one-year compulsory service in Borno State, partly in Borno State, and Yobe, where I served in Portisco. After my NYC, I took up an appointment with Leadway Assurance Company. And I was there for 7.5 years. I left Leadway for Crusader Insurance Company, then later to Corporate Alliance and General Insurance Company. In 1991, I decided to start my own business. I floated an insurance broking firm. It's one of the reputable insurance broking firms today, Silver Trust Insurance Brokers. So altogether, I had about 30 years of experience in the private sector. I was director of a few companies. In 2011, I was asked to serve as Chief of Staff to the Governor of Osun State in 2011. And I was there for 8 years as Chief of Staff. In 2018, I contested and won the election to be the Governor of the state. I was the Governor of the state from 2018 to 2022. I believe that the 4 years I served was very impactful because we turned around the fortune of the state, particularly the economy of the state. We had challenges before I became the governor in terms of payment of salary and pensions because we had very huge deduction of 2.4 billion every month from our allocation. But all the same, we stabilized the economy and we're paying full salary and pension for the 4 years. Again, we opened up our economy to the people of the world when we had the Economic and Investment Summit. That created an opportunity for people to know the potentials in our state, particularly in the area of mining. I'm happy to say that as we speak, a number of these investors from all over the world have been doing business with us, particularly on the basis of a PPP arrangement. Apart from Shegulola, there's a Baja Mines that is already, refining gold in my state. In addition to that, we did a lot in the area of health. It's on record that we fertilized 332 health centers in Osun State, one per ward. We have 332 wards, and we have 332 health centers because the importance of primary health care is very, very germane. We, again, try as much as possible to ensure security of life and property by supporting the security agencies for their needs. I don't want to bore you with a lot of details. I think most of these things are already in my CV. But let me say I thank the Almighty God for this opportunity. And I want to thank Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for considering me worthy of being nominated for a minister. And I thank this very important House, the Senate, for the opportunity of this screening today. Thank you and God bless you.
Yes,
President, sitting as chair, distinguished colleagues, my name is Senator Adenigba Francis Padams, OFR. Today, I represent the good people of Osun State. I'm from Osun East. I thank Mr. President for at least counting Osun State worthy of bringing one of us as a ministerial nominee. Before you is His Excellency, the former governor of Osun State, His Excellency Isiaka Oyetola, who happened to come from my school, University of Lagos. I was a year ahead of him, 77, he's 78. And he's a pioneer, one of the few pioneer students of insurance. When insurance and finance department and MASCOM was 77, insurance 78, they started it. Today, we thank Mr. President for bringing you here for scrutiny. His Excellency Mr. Oyetola is a Democrat. If I could remember with nostalgia, in Unilag in 76, it was among few of us. That was 78 when we left. It was among few of them that led the struggle against the obnoxious education of Colonel Ali policy, which led to Ali must go then. And the education policy changed to favor the student. Again, a strong lawyer, faithful ally of Mr. President, Asiwaju Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, who have been with him for long, like our leader. A financial management and insurance guru of repute. A good manager of men and women and financial resources. Today, he brought all his he had been in business and private life for 30 years. He brought all his private life to the experience he had to bear on Osun politics, which yielded some many financial opportunities and business opportunities. My distinguished colleagues, today I brought the man, at least that has performed to the best of his ability and our own admiration, for you to please kindly at the end of the day approve his nomination for Mr. President to swear in. I so submit to my fellow colleagues. Thank you very much.
Okay, leader. Mr. President of the Senate, very distinguished colleagues, my name is Senator Olalere Oyewumi. I represent the wonderful people of Osun West Senatorial District. Mr. Nominee, I want to thank my senior brother that spoke before me to congratulate you on being found worthy to be nominated by the President of Osun State as a Minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, the man standing before us has many accolades. When our brother from Ogun State and the man from Ekiti, particularly Mr. Alake was here, our colleague from Ekiti State described him as a Jiroba, which means the one that sees the king early in the morning. But the man standing before us here today is more than a Jiroba. He's an Abobaji. The one that sleeps with the king and wake up with him before a Jiroba comes in the morning. Because they say blood is thicker than water. Sir, in Osun State, the three of us representing Osun State in this hollow chamber have met with the executive governor of Osun State yesterday, Senator Ademola Nuruddin Jackson Adeleke. And I'm speaking on his behalf that we should give our total support for the nominee standing before you, Mr. Gboyega Oyetola, as the next minister from Osun State. We believe in him. You know, Osun State is a young state that is yearning for development. And we believe they can come from anybody. And it's one of us, one of our leaders. I will believe that if he's here representing us, we have 3 senators here, the governor at home, if all of us work together, Osun State will be better. So I'm speaking on his behalf and on behalf of other 2 senators from Osun State that we have no objection to his nomination. And we believe that he's going to perform. I should submit.
I think this is very good for Nigerian democracy. When you hear the opposing parties speaking on behalf of a nominee from the majority party, and that is why the Senate is totally different. We speak across party lines. We are not interested in party once you come here. Leader, Senator Olalere, and your colleagues from Osun, I'm very delighted to hear what you have just said. He has been your governor, he's one of you, and you have spoken on behalf of your colleagues. Hearing from the horse's mouth, I don't think we have much to discuss with this nominee. If you have anything at all to add, otherwise your people have sanctioned that you should represent them. Your governor, who is from even a different political party, has sent emissaries here. You did not even come alone. You arrived here with a new national secretary of the APC, Senator Ajibola Bashiru, and former senators and House of Rep members, all of them are there in the gallery just to support you. The entire Osun is behind you, from the governor to the smallest person. So please, if you have nothing else to add, just step forward and then pay respect to the Senate and then proceed outside.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have it there, the former governor of Osun State, Gboyega Oyetola, being escorted out of the Senate chambers at this very moment after introducing himself in this screening exercise. Just when we were thinking that the number of nominees sent by President Tinubu was 47, that number has increased to 48 with the replacement of Dr. Miriam Shetty with Dr. Mariga Mahmood and the addition of Mr. Festus Keyamo to that list, bringing the number of ministerial nominees who are to be screened by the Senate to 48. And that just happened earlier this morning, that announcement from the Senate President following the opening of a letter that he was given, a letter from President Bola Tinubu. And we're seeing the next nominee making his way up to the podium. Of course, before that, we heard the former governor of Osun State, Adegboyega Oyetola, talking about his background in insurance, 30 years in the private sector, and his time as governor from 2018 to 2022. The ministerial screening of ministerial nominees from President Bola Tinubu is in session right here at the Senate chambers, live on Channels Television, and we will be giving you all the details as they unfold.
We have before us another nominee, and very coincidentally, one of us, His Excellency Ibrahim Gaidam. You're welcome. You know the procedure. You've always been here. This is your chamber. Yeah, you've been in fact, even currently, you just left your seat there. So we want to use this opportunity to thank Mr. President for recognizing our colleagues and then finding them worthy to also cross over to the Federal Executive Council to serve the country. You have anything you like to add? Otherwise, you greet your colleagues, and in line with the act, which I just read out, Cap 208, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria, privileges and enjoyed by members of the Senate and the legislature. You do the needful.
I can introduce myself, Danofo. My name is Senator Ibrahim Gaidam. I was born in Bukarti village, former Gaidam local government, on 15 September 1956. I went to Unusari Primary School for my primary education from 1963 to 1969. I proceeded to Borno Teachers College for my grade 2 certificate. I completed the Teachers College in the year 1979. Thereafter, I was posted as a primary school teacher. I taught for some 2-3 years before proceeding to Amori Bello University for my diploma in accounting certificate. I completed the diploma certificate, the diploma course in 1983. I went back to Borno State and employed as an audit officer with my diploma certificate. I worked there for about 3-4 years. I went back to Ahmadu Bello University to pursue my degree certificate in accounting. I completed in 1990. I then went back to Borno State. I was posted to the governor's office as an accountant before Yobe was created in 1991. We were all deployed to Yobe State. I was an accountant, assistant director finance, principal accountant, up to director finance and supplies in various ministries in Yobe State. I was appointed commissioner and posted to the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Social Development in 1995. In 1996, I was posted to Ministry of Commerce and Industry in Yobe State. I led my office as Director of Finance and Supply. In those days, if you are working as a civil servant or public officer, you will be allowed to go on study leave without fee. So I left my office as Director, Finance and Supply, and then got appointed Commissioner. After dissolution of the cabinet in 1997, I went back to Ministry of Finance as Deputy Accountant General / Director Final Accounts. I was there then in 1998. I was deployed to Ministry of Health as Director Finance and Supplies. In 1999, when civilian administration came in, I was appointed permanent secretary. The position I held up to February 2007 when I retired and joined politics. I ran with my boss, late Senator Momali. I was his running mate. I was his running mate. So we won the election and I was his deputy for about 20 months. Thereafter, my boss died and I was sworn in as the governor of Yobe State on 27th January 2009. So I completed his tenure. In 2011, I contested and won election, and I became the executive governor of Yobe State. Also in 2015, I contested and won, and became executive governor of Yobe State for a second time. And in 2019, after expiration of my tenure, 2 terms, I contested for senatorial seat in Yobe East. I won. I came to this hollow chamber, and the same thing applied in 2023. And this is why I am now. Thank you.
Thank you. I think at that time, the Constitution was not amended. That if an incumbent dies and the deputy takes over, the deputy will only be entitled to 1 tenure. So he enjoyed that privilege of going for a clear 8 years plus the unexpired residue of his late principal. May the soul of his late principal rest in peace. Distinguished Senator, Nigerians know you more. You may step forward and enjoy your privilege.
And with that, the ministerial nominee and former governor of Yobe State, also senator, making his way back to his seat, apparently, right here at the Senate chambers in the National Assembly in Abuja. Former Governor Ibrahim Gaidam of Yobe State, who is one of the ministerial nominees sent to the Senate for screening by President Bola Tinubu, and he has taken his privilege, taking a bow before the members of the Senate and making his way away from that podium so that the screening exercise can continue right here at the Senate chambers. Remember, we have a total of 48 people who are going to be screened in total. Initially, today we're thinking we're going to see 19 names, but we're seeing that one more name has been added to the list of presidential nominees, ministerial nominees, I beg your pardon, who are going to be screened by the Senate. And we're seeing the next ministerial nominee making his way right now to the podium, and is a man that is well known by this particular chamber, a man that's well known by his colleagues. He's going to be screened right now. We're looking at Senator Aliyu Sabi Abdullahi of Niger State.
We have distinguished Senator Aliyu Sabi Abdullahi. I'm sure a lot of you are itching to ask him questions. Distinguished Senator Sabi, you're welcome. If there is anything that has changed in your life between the 9th Senate and the 10th Senate, you may go ahead and let us know. Otherwise, you move forward and take your privilege.
Your Excellency, the President of the Senate, distinguished Senator Godswill Akpabio, the Deputy Senate President, my own brother, a friend, a confidant, distinguished Senator Barrow I. Jibrin, the leader of the Senate, all other principal officers, my very distinguished senators of the 10th Senate, let me say to all of you, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Mr. President, sir, I am indeed very, Mr. President, distinguished senators, I am Aliyu Sabi Abdullahi, CON, Baradin Borgu, and it is with so much nostalgia that I stand here before you as a ministerial nominee of President Ahmed Bola Tinubu, GCFR. And of course, standing before you here gives me so much joy, knowing fully well that the 10th Senate has already begun to perform that very great national duty that the Senate has always been known to perform. Mr. President, my CV is before you, but let me say very briefly, I'm a veterinarian by training, and I've had 20 years of public service experience before I voluntarily retired to contest in the 2015 election to be a member of the 8th Senate, during which time I served as the spokesman, and I was re-elected in 2019, during which time in the 9th Senate, I was the Deputy Chief Whip of the Senate. Mr. President, I know for want of time and for the fact that a lot has to happen today, I would definitely want to stop at this level and to say thank you very much for the privilege to be here. And I must give my thanks to President Ahmed Bola Tinubu for finding me worthy of his nomination. Thank you very much, and God bless.
Yeah, distinguished Senator Sabi Abdullahi, you are aware of Order 9, Sub A. Privileges are the rights enjoyed by the Senate collectively and by the members of the Senate individually, conferred by the legislative houses, Powers and Privileges Act, Cap 208, Laws of the Federation, 1990, and other statutes, or by practice, precedent, usage, and customs. It's important that the public do know that what we are doing here, when it comes to your case and other cases similar to yours, are enshrined in our laws and laws of the Federation of Nigeria, and also enshrined in our rules. But distinguished Senator, we want to thank Mr. President again for finding us worthy to serve in his cabinet. And we are doing so on your behalf. You may wish to step forward and take a bow. Assalamu alaikum. Yes, leader of the Senate. Who is the next nominee? Distinguished colleagues, because Senator Hennekin Lukwebri is already here and he enjoys the same privilege as others, we may just give him 1 minute to mention anything that he wishes Nigerians to know, and thereafter he will take a bow.
Thank you, Your Excellency, the President of the Senate and Chairman of the National Assembly, Your Excellency, the Deputy President of the Senate leadership, distinguished Senators of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Mr. President, may I very humbly crave indulgence to acknowledge my 3 senators from Bayelsa, starting with Senator Dixon, who is representing me from Bayelsa West, Senator Benson Agaraga, then Senator Benson Kombo. Your Excellency, my CV is already before you, and I don't intend to bore you with the details of what is contained in my CV. I had the rare privilege of becoming Speaker of Bayelsa State House of Assembly. I also had the rare privilege of being here for 8 years. And thereafter, I also had the privilege of being screened by the Senate and confirmed to be a minister between 2015 and 2019. Your Excellency, thank you very much for the opportunity to appear before you. And let me also seize the opportunity to also express my gratitude to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for finding me worthy to be part of his cabinet. Thank you, Your Excellency.
Well, the distinguished Senator Hennekin Lukubri, you just mentioned you were already a speaker. You mentioned that you were a senator for 8 years, and you are still a senator anyway, but non-serving. You mentioned that you were screened by this hollow chamber, and you serve as a minister of the Federal Republic. And you also mentioned the fact that you have also been renominated by Mr. President. Again, on behalf of the 10th Senate, we want to thank the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria for finding our colleagues worthy to serve the nation in the Federal Executive Council. You may now take a bow. Leader of the Senate.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, sitting as chair, distinguished colleagues, it's a Friday, and to enable our distinguished colleagues observe the Jumat prayer, may I move that we go on a break and resume our sitting by 2:30 p.m. I so move, Mr. President, Mr. Chair.
The Minority Leader.
The President of the Senate, distinguished colleagues, I stand to second the motion moved by the Leader of the House. As a second. Leader of the Senate. Yes.
Distinguished colleagues, today is Friday, and most of our colleagues have already stepped out to observe prayers. So a motion has been moved by the Leader of the Senate and seconded by the Minority Leader that we take a short break to enable us to offer prayers to Almighty Allah, and thereafter we resume. Those who are in support of this break, say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. So we take a short break.
Senate President, they're announcing a short break of 1 hour, 30 minutes. 4 people have been screened so far since the beginning of the screening process today. 2:30 p.m. according to the Senate President there. 4 people have been screened so far since the beginning of the screening process today. The former governor of Osun State, Adigboyega Oyetola, the former governor of Yobe State, Ibrahim Gaidam, the senator representing Niger, Senator Sabi Abdullahi, and Senator Hennekin Lukubri of Bayelsa State. So we've got 4 people who have been screened today, bringing the number to 32, and we have a total of 48 names that have been sent by the President Bola Tinubu, for screening ministerial nominees being screened here by the Senate in the National Assembly in Abuja. We'll take a short break and we'll be back at 2:30 for the continuation of this screening exercise. My name is Kayla Magwa. We're returning to Lagos for regular programming.
We're glad you could join us. This is News Track on Channels Television. I am Bukola Koka, and these are the stories we're following for you this hour. The Senate continued its third round of ministerial screening today, and top of those screened are former governors of Osun and Yobe State, Boyega Oyetola and Ibrahim Gaidam, as well as former senators Heinekin Lukobri from Bayelsa State and Abdullahi Sabi from Niger State. We'll bring you details of the high points of today's ministerial screening in subsequent bulletins. The task before the new leadership of the All Progressives Congress is to ensure victory for the party in the upcoming off-cycle elections. And the new national chairman of the party and former governor of Kano State, Mr. Abdullahi Ganduje, says this is top priority to him. The party has also chosen former Senate spokesperson, Mr. Ajibola Basiru from Osun State, as its national secretary. The party ratified the appointments during its 12th National Executive Committee meeting in Abuja. Former President Muhammadu Buhari and former Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo had excused themselves from the meeting, which was attended by President Bola Tinubu. Our correspondent, Dele Omoyeni, reports.
The hall is filled with leaders of the All Progressives Congress, governors, members of the National Working Committee of the party, as well as National Assembly members.
Headquarters of the party.
This is the first National Executive Committee meeting of the party since President Bola Tinubu assumed office, and he uses the opportunity of the opening speech to deliver his verdict on the 2023 presidential election.
The party is in your hand. But let's redirect this party. Let's show the rest of the country that we are a party united for a purpose, and that purpose, development, progress, and prosperity, will not forgive us if we fear of that path. We honor their wishes, but we coasted to victory. It is an honorable thing. Yes, we are facing challenges in court, and I say this is one of the most free and fair elections in the history of Nigeria.
The meeting then proceeds into a closed-door session to ratify the appointments for the seat of the national chairman and the national secretary.
For the unanimous support by the members of the appointment